I got an email last week from a homeschool mom in her 7th year. She's got 3 kids, 9, 12, and 15, and she said something that confirmed to me again that I need to offer this upcoming Homeschool Reset Workshop. She said, I cannot do it all and be it all anymore. I feel like we're all bored and sick of each other. I want to go out in the world and experience things. And then she listed every emotional challenge I asked about. Overwhelm, anxiety, quick to anger, self-doubt, lack of confidence. She literally checked every single box. And here's what really got me. This is not a new homeschooler. This is someone who's been doing this for 7 years. She knows what she's doing. She's read the books. She's listened to the podcasts. She's been to the conferences. So why does she feel like this? That's what I want to talk to you about today, because I think the answer might surprise you. Here's what I know. You didn't start homeschooling to feel overwhelmed and alone. You started because you had a vision. You believed in something different for your kids, but somewhere along the way, that vision got foggy. And now you're just trying to make it through the day-to-day. And that doesn't feel very good. I want to tell you about 3 moms, real women I've had real conversations with recently, and what their stories taught me about what's really going on when we feel overwhelmed. Because here's what I've learned after years of coaching homeschool moms. The real reason you're overwhelmed isn't what you think. It is not your curriculum. You don't need to buy new stuff. Yay! It's not your schedule. It's not even your kids' behavior, though I know that often feels like the reason. But the real reason is that you're doing it all alone. So let me tell you about the first mom. She is new to homeschooling. And when I asked her what she most needed to learn at this point in her life, you know what she said? How not to feel overwhelmed with all of my thoughts and the long to-do list. Does that sound familiar? When I asked about her vision for her life, she said something really beautiful. She said, to be honest, I feel like I'm living my best life. I feel free and feel so privileged to spend quality time with my kids. Isn't that gorgeous? She loves her homeschool life. She's grateful. She feels free. But then she said this, I just feel alone. I'm still looking for my village. And when I asked what she wanted most from our conversation, she didn't say curriculum help or schedule advice. She said, to feel like I'm not alone. Now here's what I want you to catch. Her problem isn't that she doesn't know how to homeschool. Her problem is that she's doing it alone, in isolation. She has all these thoughts and to-dos swirling in her head, and there's no one to help her process them. No one to say, yeah, I get you. No one to remind her on a Wednesday afternoon when everything's falling apart that she's actually doing an amazing job. She doesn't need more curriculum. No, she doesn't, thank goodness, because you've got enough. She needs her village. And I wonder if that's you too. Maybe you're really good at this homeschool thing. You might even love it most days. But you're doing it alone, and that isolation is what's creating the overwhelm. Because overwhelm isn't always about having too much to do, although that can happen. But sometimes it's about having no one to do it with. The second mom that I chatted with, she's that one that I told you about at the beginning. 7 years in, 3 kids, including a 15-year-old. So it feels like it's bigger stakes when it's a teenager, right? And here's what she said. I don't want to be everything for them anymore. I'm their caretaker, their teacher, their mentor, their counselor, their playmate, their everything. And I want someone to take the load off. Can you feel the exhaustion in that? Maybe you really can. Maybe it's your story. This mom is not just tired. She's tired of the roles she's carrying because it's more roles than one person can hold. So when I asked what inspired her to reach out for support right now, she said, I can't do it all or be it all anymore. We tried a co-op that wasn't a right fit. I feel like we're all bored and sick of each other. And then this is the part that made me sad. She said, I want a better way of disciplining. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. She thinks her problem is all about child discipline. Like if she could just find the right parenting technique, then everything would get better. Or maybe she had enough self-discipline, then she could get more done. But that's not really what's going on. What's going on is that she's feeling like she's drowning. She's trying to be everything to everyone. She has no support. There's no other adults pouring into her teenager. No one taking the load off. And when you're that depleted, when you feel that alone, you're going to struggle with discipline. You're going to be quick to anger. Your expectations are going to be higher, maybe more unreasonable from your kids or of your kids. You're going to lose your patience. And it's all not because you're a bad mom, but because you're a human being who's trying to do something that requires a village, and you're trying to do it by yourself. This is what I mean when I say we need to get to the root of the problem, not just the symptoms. The symptom is I need better discipline strategies. The root is I'm trying to be everything and I'm burning out. And when I asked her what she hoped to gain from coaching then, she said, clarity and sanity. Not tips, tricks, or the right curriculum. Clarity and sanity. The third mom I want to tell you about said, I used to have great dreams and vision, but years of failing myself and the kids, I'm kind of at a blank slate right now. A blank slate. I've been there. I remember that season too. Like, is this what I still want? I do, but I don't. And if I'm not all in, I definitely feel like I'm failing them because probably not showing up as well as I could be. This mom used to know why she was homeschooling. She used to have dreams around it. She had a vision around it. She felt purposeful in it. But for years, she's feeling like she's failing. So the years of the gap growing between who she wants to be and who she actually is, that's growing. And it ends up making her feel blank. And when I asked what she most needed to learn, she said, I'm tired of not being structured. I just need organization, simplicity, purpose with my time. The vision I see for myself and my potential isn't what my reality is, and I don't really know why. I don't know why. That's what she said. Can you hear the confusion in that? Maybe the frustration? She can see who she's capable of being. She can see the potential, but she can't figure out why she's not living it. And then she said this, and this is the part that made me want to create this workshop. I'm sure it's because I have many sleepless nights with a baby, and I parent mostly alone. But still, like even though she knows she has a baby and she's parenting mostly alone, she still thinks she should be doing it all. She should be able to do it all. She still thinks the problem is her. And when I asked why she might consider coaching, she said, I've been to homeschooling conventions. I've read books like your book and Sarah Mackenzie's book. My question is, why can't I seem to be who I need to be? Maybe a life coach is what I need. If that is you, and if you've read all the books and listened to all the podcasts and been to all the conferences, you probably didn't go to all the conferences, but a lot of them, and you still feel like you can't be who you need to be, I want you to hear this. You don't need more information. You need real support with skin on. You need someone to walk alongside you, and you need to stop doing this alone. So what do all three of these moms have in common? They are all very smart. This is what I've learned about you. You are very smart. You're very capable. You're very committed to your kids. Y'all love homeschooling, or at least you used to. But you're all struggling with these same two things, loneliness and overwhelm. And I think those two things are connected. Overwhelm doesn't just come from having too much to do. It comes from having too much to do alone, from carrying too many roles without support, from having all these thoughts swirling in your head with no one to help you process them. And that isolation, it doesn't just make you feel lonely. It makes you lose your vision. Because when you're alone, there's no one to remind you and cheerlead you on why you started. No one can say, you're not failing, you're doing a great job. So when we talk about resetting your homeschool, we're not talking about finding a new curriculum or a better schedule. We're talking about addressing what's actually causing your overwhelm. And that is why I created what I call the 4 R's. Reclaim your vision. Remember why you chose the path in the first place. We'll revisit your values, your hopes for your kids, the kind of atmosphere you want in your home so you can lead from intention instead of pressure. Then we'll release the roles, let go of the expectations and the labels and the comparisons that weigh you down. You're not just a homeschool mom. You don't need to carry everyone else's emotional load alone. Then we'll rebuild your boundaries, help you learn how to protect your energy, your time, your emotional space with healthy, life-giving boundaries that support both you and your family. You were never meant to do this alone. We'll explore how to build supportive connections and find community that really understands your journey. They're out there. They may not be in your local space, and they may be right here, but they're out here. And that is exactly what we're going to do together in the Homeschool Reset Workshop on January 30th at 12:30 p.m. Pacific or 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And here is how it's going to work. In the first hour, we're going to dive deep into where you're actually stuck. We're going to use a grounded reflection process to help you reconnect with your original vision for homeschooling, identify the roles and expectations you're carrying that don't belong, recognize where you need boundaries, and name the isolation that's making it harder. You're going to have space to think, to process, to get clear on what's really going on beneath the surface of the overwhelm. And you're going to connect with other moms who feel exactly what you're feeling, who understand the exhaustion, the loss of vision, the weight of doing it all alone. In our second hour, we're going to build your personalized reset plan using the 4 R's. How to reclaim your vision and start leading from intention again. How to release the roles that are draining you. How to rebuild boundaries that protect your energy and create breathing room. And how to reconnect with your village, including the moms you'll meet in this workshop. You're going to walk away with a clear 30-day reset plan, not something that's generic that everyone will walk away with, but a plan that fits your life, your kids, and your current season. You'll leave with clarity, community, and the confidence that you're not failing. You're exactly where you need to be to make the reset you need. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Teresa, I do not have time for a workshop. I'm already overwhelmed. I know that is a common refrain. You're overwhelmed, so you can't do anything about it. And I hear you. But here's what's also true. You don't have time not to do this. Every single day that you stay stuck in overwhelm is another day you're operating from exhaustion, not intention. Another day the gap between your vision and your reality grows wider. This workshop is designed to give you immediate tools you can use right away that will reclaim your time and your mental capacity. All good. If you can't make it live, you can get the recording, but I guarantee you will benefit by showing up live. But more than that, you're going to meet your village, the moms who are going to walk this journey with you beyond January 30th. Because that's what actually changes things, not more information. You've got all of that. It's community. Before we wrap up, I want to tell you what happened with one of my coaching clients. Her name is Renee. When Renee came to me, she was struggling with her teenage daughter. She told me later that she felt like their relationship was hanging by a thin thread. Her words. And here's what she said after we worked together. Teresa helped me see the roots behind the surface level issues. I have now infinitely better boundaries with our teenage daughter. And I no longer feel like our relationship hangs by a thin thread. But here's the part I love. She said, I feel much more motivated in my homeschool routine and have made some major shifts that have restored the joy in our homeschool. That says something after almost a decade and a half for her of homeschooling. That's what I want for you, not just to survive homeschooling, not just to get through it, but to actually experience joy again. Another client, Trina, said something that still makes me go, whoa. She said, when I'm struggling and I start thinking, I cannot do this, I find myself hearing Teresa's voice saying, you are doing it. That shift has been invaluable. She thought she couldn't do it. And then she reminds herself long after our coaching that she is doing it. You know what? You are doing it. Even on the days it doesn't feel like it. Even when you feel overwhelmed or alone and you've lost sight of your vision in this whole thing, you're doing it. But you don't have to keep doing it alone. That workshop on Friday is happening January 30th, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. All the details are in the description below. Or comment reset and I'll send you the registration link. Space is limited because I want this to feel intimate. I want you to actually connect with other moms, not just be a face in a crowd of a bunch of people. Your village is waiting, and I hope I'll see you on January 30th.